to achieve in your entire life, kid. So yeah, you're gay.
Voice chat has been a staple of online gaming for honestly as long as I can remember. Nowhere else can you be spitting shit with the fellas than catch a slur from a random 9-year-old white kid. Recently though, it seems like it's increasingly less prominent in the gaming world, and we've started to grow nostalgic for times past. So how did VC come about, what happened, and what's next? Well, I'm Nameby Sam, and this is...
Let's get scratching.
Voice chat, or at least how we know it, wasn't really a thing until the 6th generation of consoles, and started out on the Sega Dreamcast of all places. The Dreamcast had this thing called SegaNet, which was an online subscription service, and if you paid the fee, you could use it in a very select number of prestigious games. The selection included some all-time classics like Seaman and Alien Front Online. Oh yep. VC's implementation in these titles didn't even use headsets, but rather a separate mic and TV output. Just like a lot of things the Dreamcast tried to do, SegaNet was way ahead of its time, a little clunky, and would remain really underutilized for the remainder of its short lifespan. This dude fucking hates the Dreamcast. In the dingy corner over by the liquor store though, Sony was taking some good notes. I will never forget 2001. Because that was the year Sony released the PlayStation 2 network adapter. That's right, with this little wallet looking guy, you could connect your PS2 to the Internet World Wide Web interways and use VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol, to talk to strangers and share dirty little secrets and shit. No subscription required. Alongside the release of the network adapter was the PlayStation Online headset, which standardized dedicated voice chat hardware for the rest of the industry. A big problem though was that only a few specific games had voice chat implemented, and the vast majority of multiplayer games decided it just wasn't worth the effort. 2002 saw the release of Xbox Live. Microsoft required all developers working on games using Xbox Live online functionality to integrate voice chat in some way, which led to a much bigger selection of games with real VC support. They even bundled a headset and mic in with Xbox Live retail units and ran a fucking sick-ass marketing campaign to explain the technology to consumers who might not have understood it at the time. Alright, Buffalo Soldier, cover me. With 2 major consoles now on board, voice chat became unignorable as a feature, and we started to enter the golden age. The 7th gen hit, and with it a complete voice chat takeover. Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield, fucking any game with over 2 players in it had an active VC community. This flourishing was a result of 3 major factors. Party chat didn't really exist yet, most consoles bundled mics in some form, and a lot of popular games had forced or heavily recommended game chat. Modern Warfare 2, for example, and probably the example that comes to mind for most of you, had mandatory VC in popular modes like Search and Destroy, a player base that mostly all had mics, and a constant influx of new players who wanted to talk shit on the internet. The whole culture popped up around trolling, funny moments, and actual competitive communication. To really put that into perspective, in almost any COD or Halo lobby, almost everyone would be talking. That's dozens, well, normally around a dozen, but potentially dozens of people all saying their shit. No parties, no lurking, just chatting it up and having a good time, sipping on some Code Red and doing kickflips and whatever. Although there were some unsavory, definitely racist and scammy interactions that happened through game chat, overall it redefined multiplayer gaming. Fucking scare the shit out of me. Oh my god! Holy fuck! I'm gonna keep that. That's on rec. That's in the recording. Good. Overall, it redefined multiplayer gaming as not just a test of skill, but a social hub. The whole of the 7th generation was like this, and even Nintendo started to get in on the action, poorly, but with the 8th generation on the horizon, things started to shift. A change in priorities and a new emphasis on privacy and personalization would lead to the slow, cold decline of public voice chat. One at a time. The decline of game chat was the result of numerous different factors, including console and third-party software, games, and the players ourselves. For starters, the 8th gen of consoles, namely the PS4 and Xbox One, implemented party systems that let friends talk amongst themselves in private chats. These were and still are a great feature, but insanely consequential for the future of open game chat. Gone were the days of everyone in a VC. Why bother dealing with randoms if you can just talk to your friends in isolation?
Alright, so sorry, kitty, just...
In the PC market, third-party VoIP apps started to dominate, namely Discord, and TeamSpeak if you like being degraded. All of these options for private communication started to shift the ways players talked, and who they chose to talk to. The hype surrounding franchises that thrived on game chat were dying down, with a couple of absolute fucking donkers coming out in the COD and Halo franchises respectively. Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus started to get a little pricey, which was more than enough to deter at least a chunk of users away from the service. Most importantly of all though, the culture change. Open voice chat was no longer a fun, new concept. Cases popped up about legitimate bullying, harassment, and scamming resulting in open VCs, or rather a consequence of them, and the audience that had grown up talking shit on Xbox Live were starting to move past it. Channels and landmarks focused on game chat content started to jump ship after growing bored of it, and their fans started to follow suit. Simply put, game chat was no longer novel, it was a fading standard. And like most things do, it would not die with a bang, but a slow, soft choke. All this voice chat mumbo jumbo would be absolutely impossible without microphones. And lucky for you, I just so happen to know the best one in town. Let me reach in my cartoon sack of items. The kind folks over at Myono Microphones sent me their DGM-20S gaming mic, built specifically for users with voice chat and streaming needs in mind. With RGB, one-tap noise reduction, high-sensitivity cardioid pickup, and USB/USB-C connection, this mic is all the bells and whistles a good gaming mic should have, while also being at a very reasonable price point. For reference, my unfortunately pretty costly wireless gamer headset sounds like this when I try to talk in VC. And now, on a beautiful brand new Myono DGM-20S, here's what my audio would sound like in voice chat. Literal night and day, even I can't believe how good this sounds. Pick one of these Johnsons up today for around 50 to 60 bucks by visiting the link in the description, and thank you to Myono for supporting the channel. But wait, my dear boy. That's not quite where our story ends. As the fire fades, embers dance across the ground to light it anew. That's right, baby, we're talking about VR! Woo! 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 Virtual reality is the perfect place for game chat because each player is fully immersed in the space, physically surrounded by other players. Games like Rec Room, Gorilla Tag, VR Chat, and many more feel so much more alive and engaging because of well-implemented proximity chat. The cycle of content that had slowed down for traditional gaming started ramping up in the VR scene as well, getting more players interested in goofing with these new systems. Not only could someone call you a but they can flip you off and maybe touch you too. Proximity chat also started to become a prevalent feature in huge co-op games, and it brought back a lot of the novelty old lobby VCs had. Dead by Daylight, Lethal Company, Phasmophobia, and most recently Content Warning, all huge breakout hits that all had proximity chat systems that were critical to their respective gameplay loops, and were just a lot of fun to use. The fading scream of a friend running away from a devious monster, a quickly cut explosion as you step on and off a landmine, hysterical laughing, and whatever else is all made so much better and more immersive with proximity chat. In most Bonelab fusion rooms or Lethal Company lobbies or VR chat thingies I've joined, almost everyone is mic'd up and ready to get vocal, and it's a beautiful sight. For better or for worse. I think a big reason VC quote-unquote died in traditional multiplayer was because the novelty and enjoyment of that tech in those games disappeared. Therefore, the excitement of new technology and interesting new games has started to bring it all back into place. One at a time. I, like many of you, grew up experiencing the horrors and wonders of game chat. I've also spent many an hour in a PS4 party or Discord call shooting the shit with my friends. I've now spent plenty of time screaming for my life in proximity chat. None are inherently better than the other when applied correctly, and the claim that, voice chat is dead because everyone is lame and it was better when people were evil in COD lobbies isn't really true, nor does it give proper credit to the progress of multiplayer gaming. What's more true is that the internet, gamers, and developers shifted their priorities with how game chat is used. So whether it be saying the most vile string of syllables you can conjure in a CS surf lobby, teaching your students in Half-Life Alyx over Discord during a global pandemic, or celebrating your wedding in Animal Crossing like a fucking psychopath, get out there and go do it. As long as it's protected by the First Amendment, or if you live in China, won't get you sent to the Xi Jinping Gaming Labor Penitentiary, I'm all for it. I'm Nameby Sam. Mom, get the camera. We got a lot of shit coming up.